My name is Kevin Lee, and the purpose of this database is to be a social platform-based database similar to websites like Reddit, where users can make an account and then join a community, and within those communities, it could be either like running or gaming or exercising, it could be anything. And within those communities, users can use it to post anything they want to post. It could be pictures, it could be text, discussions, and other users can comment on those posts. Why is this significant? Well, it's because this type of website brings together people who want to talk about specific things. Like I said earlier, if someone wanted to talk about running, they would join a running community and discuss on there with other like-minded users who have also happened to join in within this community to all discuss. So this is my ER diagram for my social platform database. It all centralizes around the user profile, so we can start from there. The user profile is the start to pretty much everything in this database, as it is how the user interacts with the whole platform. So the most simplest connection there is right now, it will be the user profile being in the community. The user profile can be in multiple communities, that is why it is one-to-many relation. Going off of that, the user profile can also have many different user community memberships. Memberships being signifiers that they are in other communities, which is why it is a one-to-many relationship. Going off of that, many different user community memberships can be in a single community. So a community can have multiple community memberships, as many people with multiple different memberships can be in one community at the same time, which is why the community contains multiple user community memberships. The user profile also has user activities, which can be logged on their profile, which is why user profile has multiple user activities. Moving on to the next one, the user profile can create many different other entities, like a follows. A user profile can follow multiple people, which is why it is a one-to-many relationship. A user profile also can create multiple messages. They can create multiple notifications for other users. The user profile can create multiple posts. They can like multiple posts as well, and they can comment multiple times. When it comes to posts, a single post can have multiple likes and multiple comments, which is why all of these are one-to-many relationships. Moving back to the community, a single community can have multiple posts, which is why it's a one-to-many relationship. And a single community can be associated with follows. So a single follow can be in multiple communities, which has multiple user profiles. So restating that, a single profile can create multiple follows, which those follows can all be associated with multiple communities. This database is important because it shows all of the relationships between all of the other entities and the user profile. So these are my tables for my diagram. There's about 10 tables, and they all range from the profiles themselves to the posts, comments, and even notifications. And here are my constraints. These constraints cover items 3 and 17 respectively, and there's 2 constraints. The first one being a check to unique emails, making sure that each registration is a unique email to make sure there's no double registration or the same email being used twice. The second constraint checks on registration, just to make sure that the registration date is not in the future or somewhere that isn't, sometimes that's in error. So it protects the integrity of the data. And here are my indexes, which cover number 18 item. There are 3 indexes that I have here. The first index that has the first index creates a community ID column for the user community membership table, so that the membership can be linked to a community ID. So it could be one specific community and another specific membership being linked together with that ID. We have another unique constraint here for the likes that does not allow users to like a single post multiple times. Same goes with the followers. It does not allow a user to follow a single person multiple times. It just keeps the integrity of the data clean. And for here, we have a sequence. This specific sequence is used to increment the IDs of the user ID one time, but this can also be used for the aforementioned community ID as well. And here is all my sample data. And here are my views for item number 4. The requirements say have at least 4 views, but I do have a view for every single table I have. But for now, and here are the more than 4 views required for the items. Of course, I can add more other views, just like comments and likes. And from here, they'll be added onto the views list. Here's all my views. And for item number 5, here are my string functions. The first string function is very important as it helps other users search when it comes to finding somebody. So sometimes you don't know their full username, you can just go with their first letter or with multiple letters. This query can be changed to fit anyone's needs. And same thing with this comment section. This is for mainly administrative purposes, but it can help find comments that are longer than certain characters, so it could check for some spam, or it could check for very long rants. It depends. Or it could probably breach maybe some sort of community guidelines where your comments can't be over a certain length. Either way, this can be changed to 15 letters or 500 letters if it's whatever meets the needs of the admin. And for item number 6, we need a number function. And here will be my number function, which calculates the number of days since the last post in the community. This is also for administrative purposes, which can track if a community is fairly active or not. As these are all sample data communities, there's not going to be much, but you can see that days since last post, the time would be there. Another number function would be to rank posts within a community by the number of likes. This can be used for sorting measurements, where the top post would have the most amount of likes, and it could display its likes, but also it could show that this is the top post because it has so many likes. have the date functions. It could see that for the date functions for number 7, it could retrieve after the table comes up for the ranking post within a community function. You can then sort it through this table. Like count, bring it over to select the columns, and it would sort. Right now it's in descending order, but you can sort it in descending order. And then boom, you'll have the top posts that have likes, and it will be ranked as such. Moving on to date functions. We have 2 date functions here. One that has toDate and another one for toChar. The first one would retrieve profiles for those who have joined the platform after a certain date. This is very significant, as you can use this for administrative purposes to track after maybe a certain event. If you happen to have a running community and a new running event, a marathon has opened up recently, you might use this function to check how many people have joined ever since that marathon. And the second one would be to extract the month. It is also very significant, as sometimes you want to make sure that you want to know how many posts are within a single month. You can use this query on top of other queries to combine and mix and match how you want to use the month. So here we have all these people who have joined after January 1st, 2022. You can see all these people here. The month extract. Right there, you can see the month extracted and the year right afterwards. You can obviously just take the year out and only have the month, but I decided to keep the year in for clarity. Now the decode function for item number 8. This decode function is used to check if a user ID is an admin or a guest. Also for administrative purposes, but also to view which users within a community is an admin and which one is a guest or just happened to join recently. Now, I didn't really put down. Now for item number 9, we have a group by and having function, with the first function finding users who have posted in a community over a certain number of members. With this, you can see active communities and very low activity communities with very low members versus those activities with very high members. And you can find users which are posted within them. So you can gauge the activity of a community. This is mainly for administrative purposes, but a user can also use this query to track if a community is worth joining. As you can see, there are three members within community 1. The second function finds communities with more than a certain number of posts. This is really good and really significant for the aforementioned see how many posts and activity is within a certain community. Both admins and users can gauge how active a certain community is using this, and to see if a community is no longer worth having around and just shutting it down or keeping it online. There you go. You can see Community 1 has only 3 posts, while Community 2 has 7 posts. For item 10, it asks for a subquery, and the subquery that I built was one to count the number of posts made by each user in a community. This can be used to find out and gauge how many posts does each user actually post, and which ones are the active users and which one are just there just to read and discuss. This is important for administrative purposes, as you can see which users make the most impact on a community. So right now we're looking at community 1, and right now we can see that John is the most active in that community. The other users are just there to discuss and read his posts. For item number 11, it asks for an inner and outer join. My first function would be using an inner join and finds users who have an active record so that it can track which ones are very active in any given community. And right here we can just see John. There's John, and there's Green with a comment, and there's Alice with a post, and there's Bob with a comment. All these users have an active record. And the second one is an outer join, which finds users even if they haven't made any activity. This can be used within a community to see if which ones are being active and which ones are not. This just pulls from a long list of users with activity or not. So we can see that John, Green, Alice, and Bob are all active, but users 4 through 12 are not active. So number 12 asks us to make a save point demonstration. And this demonstration will be about a new user and a post, but that post is unwanted, so there is a rollback to a previous save. Or that post could be just, it could violate the community guidelines, and that's why there want to be a rollback or deletion. So let's do it. So the new user would be inserted in. New community, a new test community will be inserted in as well. And we'll use save point right there. Save point created. And now let's insert this post. And we'll want a rollback to a previous save point. The rollback is complete, and the change has been committed. Moving on to number 13 will be an insert and delete through a view. This would be an insert into posts view. Let's just make sure I have posts. So number 13 asks us to insert and delete through a view. And so we're just going to insert a new post. One row inserted. Just going to check. And yep, there it is. Post ID 13. We're going to delete. Then we're going to check one more time. Yep. All posts from Alice in Community 1. So the post that we just made is deleted. Number 14 asks us to update the embedded select. So we decided to update the BIOS field based on the number of posts the users made in the post table, which is significant as other users could see how many posts a user has posted. Then we can select and view it, and now John has made 6 posts. Number 15 asks us to delete rows with more than one condition. So for the first one, I made one that would delete posts from a specific user in a community, which is significant as a certain user can be problematic and all their posts need to be deleted at the same time. The second one would delete comments by a specific user on posts from a specific community. Which can be significant as, once again, a specific user on specific community can be problematic and all their posts and comments need to be wiped. For number 16, it asks us to create a table from another table. So, I created a table that includes users who have joined the community within the last year. And we can view that table